Hey there, Dan Martell here, serial entrepreneur, investor, and creator of SaaS Academy. In this episode, I want to share with you how to get through the struggle of the challenges you're dealing with in your business without losing what you've built. And be sure to stay at the end. We're going to share with you how to get access to my Dream 100 training. It's the most powerful way I know of designing the perfect network and relationships that you're going to need to take your business to the next level. But let's get into it. So the other day, I got a call from one of my coaching clients, Carl, and he was about 70K in MRR. And for the last few months, he was killing it. Things were going good. He's really pumped about his business. He was, hiring team members. And all of a sudden, his lead salesperson quit on him. And it got him into this funk of, now I got to get back into sales. And, I really hate doing that. And I thought I was making forward progress. And why am I doing this business? Why is it so hard? And we talked about it for a little bit. And all I did was share a few perspectives with him, perspective around how he's showing up in his business, asking him questions like, if the business was successful, would you still be excited about it? The answer was yes. There's a bunch of different things that I think when you're dealing with struggles in your business, that a different perspective will allow you to get an understanding that will make it easier to move forward. And that's what I did with Carl. And within weeks, he changed, he shifted his mindset, got back on to the business he was building before he got kicked in the stomach, and is now almost doubled his MRR only 3 months later from where he was at. And the reason why, and he shared this feedback with me, it's why I wanted to do this episode, is a few key things that really connected for him that allowed him to reframe the struggles he was going through without throwing everything he built out the window and going doing something else. So this is what I want to share with you. These 3 mindset shifts, perspectives to help you get through your struggle. Number 1, battles versus wars. So often when we're in the thick of things, we don't realize that this is not the war that we're losing. It's just a battle. What I mean by this is that you might have somebody quit on you and you might think man, this is a lot harder than it has to be. And you're ready to throw out the whole business because of one incident. And I think if we zoom up a level and get perspective and realize that, hey, I'm winning at the war. We're actually making some head grounds. This is a great business. Our customers are loving us. And I just happen to lose a small battle. Then all of a sudden it doesn't make it so big. We need to put things in context for actually how bad they are. I mean, I think about, the example of having a kid, when, I don't know if you've ever had a baby, but when, you might love your child, you create a human, it is pretty awesome. But in the beginning, there are so many battles, moments where they throw up all over themselves if you're on a plane, or, they have an incident in school or whatever it is. But those are just little battles throughout the journey that's going to play a bigger part in the outcome that you're trying to achieve, which is, take everything that you've learned, every bad thing, every good thing, and kind of reframe it and hopefully bring this person, this your child into the world in a more prepared and more amazing way. And that to me is the bigger picture. And we would never stop being a parent because a thing happened where we just felt frustrated in the moment. We pick that up and work through it and kind of move forward. And I think too often in our business, because it's just not, we forget that perspective, we're too quick to run away. So think about that. Are you truly losing the war, or did you just lose a battle and you have to get back in the game and keep moving forward? And to me, I think of my kids, it's of course, yes, there's a moment, there's an issue. I'm not giving up on them. I'm showing up. I'm going to be the best dad I possibly can. And this is just a moment in the grand scheme of things that we'll probably forget about. Maybe he'll bring it up in therapy. Who knows? But at the end of the day, that's just a little blip on the grand scheme of what we're after. Embrace the struggle. So one of the mindset shifts that I did for Carl was sharing with him that I believe that, the problems don't get smaller, we just get better. Right? So this whole thing of becoming the person who can deal with $1 million problems, right? Some of you guys are stuck at $10 problems. $10 problem happens in your business, you freak out and you go crazy. Okay, some of you guys it's 100, some of you it's 1,000, some of you it's 10,000, 100,000, a million, 10 million, 100 million. I don't know where you're at, But at the end of the day, the more you grow businesses, you know, Richard Branson, Elon Musk, etc., they're not getting easier to build. They just become better. One of my favorite quotes that my friend Jason Gaynor shared with me is, no pressure, no diamonds, right? No challenges, no great outcomes, no frustrating moments, no opportunity to learn, right? No pressure, no diamonds is always a quick reset for me that I shared with Carl that really helped him reset his mindset. And probably the most incredible example of this recently is from a guy named Sean Stevenson. If you don't know who Sean was, he recently passed away. And it was a crazy event that essentially woke up that morning, everything was great. He fell off of his chair. Sean had a disease that caused him to not really grow. He's about 3 foot 2 inches tall. They called him the little giant. And his mission in the world was to rid the world of insecurities. And I had the privilege of meeting him several times as I was speaking at events. He was there to connect and chat. And he shined his light so bright that anybody that interacted with him just felt this sense of belief that he had in you, and in the way he showed up in his world and the stories he shared. And even when, you know, he fell off his chair and hit his head, and then, you know, had an injury and went to the hospital, and over an 8-hour period or whatever it was, coming in and out of consciousness, in one of those moments, he looked up to his wife and to his best friend and said, "This happened for me." I can't even imagine how the belief systems that he has, that even in that moment on your deathbed, when you've done everything right and an accident causes that kind of outcome, and you can still have that perspective that this happened for me, not to me. That was his perspective. And this is something he shared on stage as one of his key messages. That, and I saw it, the outpour of people telling their version, their story of how he had that impact on them and shifted that mindset. To me, that is the most incredible example of embracing the struggle, of shifting and saying, hey, this thing that just didn't happen, this happened to me, didn't happen against me. This happened for me. This is an opportunity for me, and I'm going to use this in my life. He never once complained about being in a chair or taking, you know, a lot of time to get dressed in the morning, having a caretaker, you know, support him as he traveled the world. Sean did more in his whole life than most people will ever hope to accomplish. And this is a guy that struggled with a physical disability that couldn't easily navigate our world. And he showed up and he shined his light, and his perspective on life was just so beautiful that it's really hard for me to coach sometimes founders that they're having too big of a pity party, because in the grand scheme of things, it's nothing. And if we can reframe that and just say, hey, this thing happened for me, not to me, I think you're going to have such a different outlook and a different approach to your day that's going to make some of these battles seem inconsequential and allow you to get a higher perspective of why we do this in the first place. Number 3, ask for help. One of the most powerful things that you can do when you're struggling, when you're going through a tough time, is just like my client Carl did, is reach out and ask for help. You know, too often, you know, I coach really high performing founders, and, you know, people are always posting in the Facebook group questions around their marketing strategies and their Facebook strategies and their product strategies and their retention strategies and their leadership and all that stuff. And that's all great. You'll get, you know, because I have the most powerful playbooks and frameworks to help them grow their software businesses. But what's most important for me, and I have to remind my clients this all the time, is I need you to reach out to me when things are bad, when your lead investor pulls out at the last minute, when your co-founder CTO quits on you, when your product, you know, there's a bug in your product that causes 30% of your clients to cancel on you. Whatever that, like, those are the moments that you want somebody in your corner to be able to listen around what's going on, get perspective of what this really means in the grand scheme of things, and help you go through the list of options to execute and implement a strategy to get you out of that hole. And for me, I've felt always it's a privilege when folks like Carl or my other clients reach out to me to give them that perspective. But even for myself, I have people in my life that when I'm struggling, they're like, there's no question anymore. When I'm up against something tough, when something hits me in the side that I didn't expect, I'm reaching out and saying, hey, here's what just happened. You give them the data. Here's what I think my options are, this, this, and this. And here's the one that I think I'm going to lead with. What do you think? And I think that's the right way to approach it. Too often when people ask for help, they're like, man, I'm really bummed out. What should I do? That doesn't give anything. What I just said, this is what happened to me. Here's how I'm feeling. Here's what I think I can do. Here's the thing that I'm going to lead with. What do you think? That's the proper way to ask for help so that they have context. If they need to double click and go deeper on a specific area, they'll ask those questions. But too often, people just suffer in silence and they suffer alone and they don't have the opportunity to get perspective from somebody else. Or worse, they feel like I need to solve this first before I kind of go out and reach out. And that's a weird one. It's like, I wanted to solve this. I didn't want to bug you. That's what I get from my coaching clients. It's just like, why? I'm here to help you when things are tough. That's why I'm here. I feel like I've gone through all of this. I've grown my mindset, my beliefs. I've had the success and the struggles that I've had in my life so that I could show up for you in those moments. And people don't even ask for help. So just make sure that you have the 2 a.m. friend, as my friend Shaw calls it. A 2 a.m. friend is somebody at 2 a.m. in the morning when you can't sleep, when you're struggling, that you can pick up the phone and you know they'll answer. That is a beautiful thing. So quick recap, how to get through any struggle without losing everything you built. 3 perspectives. Number 1, battles versus wars. Number 2, embracing the struggle. And number 3, ask for help. As I mentioned at the beginning of this episode, I want to share with you an exclusive resource called my Dream 100. This is something that I've used every business I've ever started. I sit down and I make the list of the 100 people that I need to connect with over the next 2 to 3 years to increase the probability of success in my business and increase the growth ramp. And there's 3 specific categories or types of people that I go and do research around to add to the Dream 100 to make sure that I have the advisory team and the peer networks and the mentors around me to support me in achieving my dream. So you can click the link below to download that training for yourself. But if you want to know how do you build that group of people that you can turn to and ask for help when things are tough, this is how you do it. So Dream 100, click the link below and download that. If you found this video helpful, please lightly click the subscribe button. Like this video, and if there's anybody you care about that you feel this video could serve, feel free to share it with them directly. As per usual, I want to challenge you to live a bigger life and a bigger business, and I'll see you next Monday.